talking about. I beg 1 hour now I will give. So you people just, I don't even think I'm accept anybody to the broadcast. The people we have here is enough. Let's talk about it. Mr. CM, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Like what Tony was saying was a different thing. What we were saying was Tinubu as a candidate, given what we know about the Europe, that they weren't vehement. Their people didn't come out to condemn and say, "Look, we don't want him. This is not it." That's what we are saying. It's not general whatever. They made a deal with the North so that they can always give to them. Haruna Goro explained it here. One of his so many of it. I think he's been here 2 or 3 or 4 times. In one of them, he said it that they told them in the north that look, they always talk to the Yorubas, better support us so that we can get this and give you some. He said this were his language. This was the language he used. So we know what is going on, but like everybody has known, even the people planning all those things is no longer benefiting them unless when people, like this idea that, okay, let me just put it this way. People might think that Nigerians are so, they've given up that they can't come to the street. It's because they are waiting for P2B and they found out that there's a watertight case. I mean, it's been shown every day. But if INEC should I mean, not INEC, the panel, the tribunal should mistakenly or just stupidly, maybe I don't know what the word to use, they decide to just to punish Nigerians again, and they affirm Tinubu's this bazaar that they did. That is when they will see the other side of Nigerians. It is in their own interest to just allow people to take the mandate so that even them and their children they will benefit. But failing it, of course, nobody is talking of a united Nigeria. It's as simple as that. I know that in political realignment in Nigeria, at least since 1999, the South and the Southeast tend to align. Okay, who made Jonathan president? Mainly votes from Southeast and South. That is the bulk of the vote. He cleared it very well. The West didn't give him much. The Middle Belt, he got quite, but the North still, they rejected, even they stoned him for when he was going on campaign. So we know all these things, what is happening, and then they made it pay. When Jonathan was there, like somebody said, the fuel scarcity was not, and it should have been well managed better then. Like Okonjo-Iweala said, that the money goes into sovereign wealth fund. This is what it should be used. All of them gathered at where is it called? That Ojota in Lagos. Falana, Tinubu, I mean, Falana, Wole Soyinka, Tunde Bakare, all of them. There's no name they didn't call Jonathan. Soyinka called the woman, the wife, hippopotamus. Anything, imagine descending that low like Oluomo language. They did all these things. But now that Tinubu is there, they are not going from different platform to the other, telling you, oh no, the man is doing is the best thing to do. Some are even, look, I can imagine sometimes you go to Arise News or channels, they will say he's not doing well. Look at the appointment. Look at the accolade he's receiving. He has gone to France to solicit for foreign investment. When they churn out lies like this, you now start to wonder of what use is the money your father paid or your parents paid for you to attend the nursery school. Is he worth it, or primary school? When they keep churning, who are you deceiving? Which foreign investor is coming to Nigeria, poverty capital of the world? The money you used to transport yourself to France was borrowed. Nigeria don't earn anything. They said 90 is like a man who has 100 naira. 98 naira out of it is for you to settle your whoever you are owing. You only left with 2 naira. What can he do? That's why Nigeria keep borrowing. Are they not? Nobody will interrogate the fact that between April, May, June, Nigeria has borrowed how many billion? 800, 500 billion dollar. I mean, $500 million now. $800 million before the other chap left, and then the other one. So when you see all these things happening, Nigeria is on a free fall. Yeah, people will just corner you. Those that have criticized I wish Jonathan is a gentleman. This is the time for him to speak. Because when people that criticize him beyond measure, fabricated stories about him, using media there's nothing they did, the Southwest didn't write, using their media, even the Nation and Tinubu. Now look at what is happening. Look at Nigeria. Everybody is now turning around to tell me. It's not that you won't remove It's not that you won't remove a subsidy. We know at a point it should go. That is genuinely. But you must do something. Somebody said, first, before you remove it, what is the state of our refinery? Even if, supposing they are borrowing this money, like P2B was saying, you borrow it, no matter how big is it, but as you are borrowing the money, the next minute it is going into what you need it for. Not even cover will come out of it. That is what it means by borrowing. And not when you borrow money, you share. How much will it cost to fix refinery before you remove subsidy? They didn't do it. All they tell us is that Dangote is commissioning refinery. Where is Dangote petrol? Where is the petrol from Dangote? Knowing that Dangote petrol is crude oil from Niger Delta laid pipe down to Lagos. Why can't they build that crude refinery in Yenegoa? Build 2 or 3 refineries in Bayelsa between Yenegoa and Escravos. They build at least 2 refineries there. That is where it's supposed to be, so that you don't need to lay pipeline that will cost you money again. It's just a question of maybe 100 meters. Then you drill it in and then refine and share. But they didn't do it. All this thing just to strangulate that area. Because Obi said this is his program, he's going to open up. That is just the thing. They are afraid that Lagos Seaport will be
All right,
depleted
Mr.
because
Chris. I'll see you.
money
Mr.
coming,
Chris.
because we cannot all be using Lagos Seaport. The seaports in the Niger Delta area, at least 3 or 4, we start full up, or 5 even. We start full operation with road network and everything. So I can now see that, and they may not know why somebody will be importing goods and be directing it to Lagos when you have Warri, Saple, Port Harcourt, and the One and Calabar, and even the one they're doing at Ekora Abbas there or something. So these are the real thing. P2B said, cultivate the land. That is just the mind scene, nothing more. Then there was attack everywhere, name it. That just because of this. Okay, now that Tinubu is there, if like Tinubu will be there, even if he's there for 8 years, Lagos Seaport will only be the one working. He can never touch any other one. He won't do it. Later they will tell you, after Jonathan was there, what didn't he do? So this is the wickedness we are talking. And that is why when P2B said, this is what he's going to do, that was how they attack. Everything now come up. All this idea, we have to rig this man and keep him away. They know that when the man goes, he will do good to all manner of people. And he will do it best the way it should be, because Nigeria's economy is shrink. That is just like something managed by a cabal. Nigeria is in a pressure cooker. They don't want you to do anything. What will it cost for somebody to generate electricity, do all these things ourselves? They won't do it. Everything they want to the cabal, the Fulani, and then the Yoruba collude as their junior partner in crime. They will not be there and then be holding things. No, P2B want to liberate Nigeria, and that is where the man sin is. That's why they're holding it against him. The issue of this fuel theft, he said it, that if he's in power, that nobody will steal petrol. It only take him to do a calculation July last year. He said, look at the month of July, 31 days. This is how much, how many barrels of crude oil we should export every day. Because we lost that of July, because of this thing, if you multiply it over with the dollar exchange of 400, he come down to 1.7 trillion. But ASU is looking for about 1.3 trillion. He say, you see it, that this is money that is stolen. So he's going to plug all loopholes. Now, look at the video. I think you showed it here. Somebody saying that they are tired of making money from a subsidy. It's a scam. People are now believing. There's a spirit guiding P2B. When he comes in, all these ones, Nigeria haven't had anything. The real decay, I'm sure this man, when he comes in, Nigeria won't borrow kobo. You will be surprised. Under him, he will tell you there's nothing to borrow, that they have money. Reform the wharf, stop oil being stolen. Even till today, they're still stealing crude oil. Forget about all this noise. Stop oil stealing. P2B won't borrow money, and he will make sure that 4 years, people will be surprised. Because he tell you that there is money now, he's not going to borrow. He knows how to plug all loopholes. He is not stealing now. So they do not like it, and they just have to collude and be talking. Tell me what conscience, if not tribalism, ethnicity, that somebody like Shoyinka will not criticize Tinubu? Does he see Tinubu as an ideal president? All he's talking about is obedient. Anything obedient, he go and make noise. Fascism, all these things. When they were talking of fuel subsidy in those days, what role did they play? All of them. Now they are making, but the thing is that the hand of God is on P2B. It is in Nigerian interest, it is in the interest of everybody for him to reclaim his mandate and govern. Failing it, all those things they are talking is just right. Look, so many nations will come out of Nigeria. Even the handwriting is on the wall. They know it. All these things they are making, Tinubu is just there to hold a place. At most, they will feel that he's not going to do it. Maybe they will find a way of removing him and then putting Shetima. But all those things, anyway, I don't want to contemplate it because I know.
Are you done?
I know Peter B will reclaim his mandate. But if they fail to give it to him, so many things, so many people that are sleeping, they will know so many people are just fighters, but they just kept quiet. I mean, we can't continue in this Stone Age living. Look at Nigeria, everybody's running away. Things are so difficult, and then till today, you are going to empower women. Nigeria is borrowing money every month. Okay, if Tinubu borrows in June, what stops him from borrowing in August again? By the time you get to August, they borrow another one. Buhari borrowed, Ozdekome said it, 1 week, you are still asking for approval, $800 million. What are you going to do with it? So this Nigeria, this game they are playing, it is better tribunal just save Nigeria, the people living there. Failing it, Nigeria will just disintegrate.
Mr. CN, Dr. CN, can I come in?
Yes, please.
You see, you have just done the normal, you have just explained what it is and what is supposed to be. I might say a little bit, you're politically, okay, you balance issue. But what I'm saying now, I am standing my ground. Whether they like it or not, Peter Obi will get his mandate. But before I buttress my point, I will stand on my first premises. And I will still say the North and the West are the fundamental problem issue we need to settle. You see why I say so? It's like this. The man that called earlier, Tony Africa, just like a masquerade, who somebody will play drum and will start dancing around. He doesn't know who, but he feels that everybody that is singing is his person. He's trying to do. Let me go to history. What connects the Yoruba and the Bini is just that marriage. The Bini is still Bini, the Yoruba is still Yoruba. It is just because of that marriage that took place, that thing that took place when our Oba was out. That is just the thing that even the Lagos they are claiming it is not their own. The Benis were warriors. If you got to go to history, we'll use history to debunk that fact that is trying to say, oh, the Yoruba. I'm not pleasing anybody. I'm a typical Benin man. I'm not under anybody's subject. I'm not nobody's subject. I know my brother. I know my sister. If somebody is doing something wrong, we should be clear. That is why we need to call a constitutional conference so that everybody will hear his voice, no matter how painful it is. We need to spill it out so that we come to a final conclusion that we can come together and become brothers and sisters. All this painting, the same thing that Tony Africa was saying, was the same thing they were saying to us when Shagari was in there. Oh, we know the South. He's talking about Awolowo. Was Awolowo preaching through Nigeria? One Nigeria, was he saying it? Was it not the same Awolowo that said Nigeria is he's just like a subject in a map? Was it not the same Awolowo that spilled that thing out? So what is Tony Africa telling me that in history that what is his name? Our former Ambrose Ali went and learned from Awolowo. How dare he say that? How dare he say that? Does he know history? What is the connection of Ambrose Ali with Awolowo? Where does he place an arrow? Who came forth to talk about one Nigeria? Was it not a man from the east? Because he has a lineage that comes from the north. Was it not the man that said one Nigeria? When did the West call for one Nigeria? Let anybody tell me. If you have the boss, let him tell me. Who among them came to say that we must be one Nigeria from the West? Did Awolowo do that? Awolowo was a sectional and a tribal head. That was the fact. He's a good man, but his own ideology was based on tribalism. Anybody can debunk it, but I will tell you what it is. He was the one that said Nigeria is a geographical expression. Did he ever say Nigeria is one? Why did he not? Because of that message he spelled. He wasn't having any agreement with them because he was stubborn. He wanted to build a regional government. He was stubborn. That is why the North couldn't make a bargain from him. After Awolowo depart, the next bargain they suit it right was to do with the southwest. Because of one reason, the southwest had education, and the North wanted to use that education, and they should stand as their arrowhead there. They will learn from them, and that was it. After Awolowo, they started making bargain with them. Why did they do a bargain with Awolowo then? Because Awolowo was a sectional head. They knew about that's what Awolowo went to prison. They knew what made him to go to prison. Was it because of his action? It was because of his words. So what is Tony Africa coming to tell me? Benin had been existing even before the Yorubas. What's he telling me? That because I have a small rapport with a Yoruba woman, therefore, now my brother, who told you? We should stop saying that. We are their senior brother. We are their head. Their Oba said it. You don't joke with history. You don't joke with the origin of Benin. Okay, now, can the Yoruba man tell me where they came from? Let us go to history. Let them talk. They said Oduduwa came from heaven. He fell down from up. Is that not what they're telling us? Is that not what all of us read? Why can't they trace it? Let them trace it. Let them come and tell me. What is Tony Africa saying? Oh, Awolowo did it because he was a Western leader. He was sectional leader. He was never going round. That was why when Abiola came, Abiola had to break that mark of being only a sectional head. Abiola had to go around marrying Hausa, Igbo, all he was just marrying all of them so I can have a mixture. He went round. Abiola break that thing. That was why Abiola was accepted all throughout. Then Tony Africa will come and tell me. I am saying the truth. I'm not saying Yorubas are bad, but I'm not trying to trace history. That the weakest part of the region that the Hausa feel that they can do and maneuver was Yoruba. Okay, let us go to the military. Who did they make game with? Is it not Yoruba? Let us go to the banking sector. Who did they make deal with? Is it not Yoruba? Then who came and took over the bank sector? Was it not the Southeast?
It's true.
So we should look. This is the kind of conference I'm saying. Everybody can just. I'm not a man that will party paso and paint it white, being a masquerade, dancing in the masquerade field because I want favor. I don't want any favor from no one. But all I want is just a true Nigeria and one Nigeria. And if they cannot take the rot and the bitterness of what they have done and what they are still doing, they should go to hell and let everybody separate. How can a nation be built under the auspices of pretense all over the place? You cannot say this man did this thing wrong and let him correct himself. We are just saying, oh, Awolowo, Ambusali. Were you there? Were you there? Even the Ambusali, what did you do for Benin? Which school you build? Not be that school, that university build. After university and road, waiting else, and the road self na inside na Peter. Who come back? Was it not Ogbemudia, who was a military head that came and started developing the capital of Edo State, the Bender State? Was it not Ogbemudia that spread the tentacle and spread everything around? Will you not tell me that Ogbemudia learning from Awolowo? What kind of ideology what kind of idea we're trying to spill over to make your own people go so low? When Edo State was Edo during our origin, Edo have a monarchy system that was agreeing we developed so well, creating a seaport. What is he saying?
Even Black Panther, what you just said now reminded me of, I think you were on the panel the other day when I didn't know that seaport as at 1463, Gele Seaport.
Just imagine that.
Obeware has to open it to enable the
Or
Portuguese.
commission it.
To enable the Portuguese to visit Benin, they came in through that seaport. No airport then. 1463? Seaport, Gele. I was shocked.
The port in the southwest, was it not the Edo people that opened that port? That they started doing trade with the Portuguese again. The Brazilians were coming in.
Additionally,
what is this saying to us?
Additionally,
We should know our history very well.
Additionally, apart from just that seaport, there was also a representation in Lisbon, something like an embassy in Lisbon.
In Lisbon, yeah, Alexa said that. I'm aware.
As old as that time. So
that is why I always agree with Alex, because he's an embodiment of the history of the Edo people.
1472.
We cannot begin to say because we married this man, we married his daughter gave birth to this thing, therefore we should be saying, oh, if they do wrong, we'll send our brother. Which brother?
The summary is that so that we don't get all these things twisted up. The truth is that the goal is to get this mandate back. That is,
we are getting it, whether they like it or not.
There's no other option. The goal now defines the country.
Okay, so we can safely. Sorry,
so
Mr. Chris.
If we are going to be talking about a country like Nigeria, it only will be premised on the fact that Peter Obi retrieves his mandate back. Because if that mandate is not retrieved, so there will be no basis to keep talking about.
Mr. Lewis, good evening to you, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Lewis, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Chris, Black Panther, everybody.
Welcome, sir.
I can hear all you guys say passion going up.
So,
and that's good.
So that's it. The basis. Basis. We see they don't know what people are just waiting for.
Can I quickly say something, Mr.
Yes,
Chris,
please.
before you continue? Whose phone? Who's on mute? I can hear phone ringing. Okay. So what I wanted to say to what Black Panther said, and thank you very much, Black Panther, for bringing it for saying it the way you said it, because this is the problem we have with a lot of our older folks in Nigeria. This subservient nature that they have towards the West, because it's not only Mr. Tony that has said this. Let's be very clear here. There's so many people who operate on that level where Mr. Tony is coming from. And they say, oh, yes, though his brother to this, his sister to this, it was Awolowo that taught. Awolowo was a sectional leader. He was only for his people. So we can safely say most of the leaders we've had have been selfish in their approach. Because from what you just said, Mr. Black Panther, is that Abrosali only focused on his side, right? Ogbemudia came, did as much as he could. Another person, so everybody's sectional. That's what it means. So we have to say it all the way. Let's just go all the way. So if we have a Benin person as a Edo State governor, he focuses on Benin. So if there's an Isha person, he focuses on Esan. Is that not problematic in and of itself? So we have even a bigger problem. So we have done ourselves so much bad that some people will feel like, oh yeah, let's remain subservient to the West. Let's be calling them brother and sister. Is it not, oh, it's my brother and sister that has brought us to where we are today? It's my brother, don't touch my brother. It's my sister, don't. Is that not why we are suffering today? This is why it's like a tangled web. We can't untangle it because of the mess that has gone on for so long. See, if we don't get it right, if Peter Obi does not get his mandate, let's just be very honest with each other. Let everybody go their separate ways. I know they hide talk am again because
It's true.
everything what we they see is horrible to see. It's painful to hear what is coming out of Nigeria. There's no point. Let's not pretend. Let everybody go and sort themselves out because this is sickening. Every day, people, papa, they go. Every day, person they lose mama. Every day, person they lose pikin. If they're not, they sell their pikin. They pie them up and down as if they be ants. Even animals behave well past past Nigerians right now. People just pie for ocean trying to cross because they are tired of Nigeria. I never see where person go they run from your own house. You go they now outside, nice safe for a past house. Is a problem. We have to admit now, we all have a problem because there's sectionalism in everything that we do that is now so apparent. So as we're calling out the West, we're also calling out ourselves. It's all BS from top to bottom. We don't have heroes. We've never had heroes. Let's not pretend. Awolowo wasn't my hero. He did what he did for his people. I salute him. He take care of his own. How many of your people take care of your own? That's the question.
It's true. That's sure. What happened?
If I'll just conclude, I think enough has been said. My belief is this, and I know a lot of people that share the same sentiments within my circle, everywhere. The truth is that the word Nigeria, that entity Nigeria, we are going to continue calling that name on the premise that Peter Obi gets his mandate back. There are not going to be any middle ground, no negotiation, nothing, nothing.
Nothing.
I think it was Dr. CM. You said earlier today that you cannot say because you like eating meat, then if you see cow, you'll be calling cow your brother, or you say Uncle Cow just because you want to eat meat. I cannot say because I want to live in Nigeria, I want to be this entity called Nigeria, I want to protect it, then I'll become a slave in the entity. It's not possible. Even in the so-called Western world where we are, I'm just being treated better than a citizen of the country. Not just a citizen, I am an indigene of Nigeria. So it's not going to continue like this, never. I think for now, what we all should
Please,
focus on
somebody should.
is just to leave the different
Somebody
sectional
should mute
states.
his
Somebody should
whatever.
mute.
Yeah,
Somebody should mute, please, so
we
that we know
just
where the noise
focus,
is coming
we
from.
leave the different sectionality and focus on how to get this mandate back. But while doing that, let's not forget that we are deeply divided, we are deeply separated. These fault lines are there. And a lot of the big people, the power brokers in every region, they are capitalizing on these fault lines. And let's not hide from the fact that the Southeast has been at the receiving end of this great injustice. Because if you just look back, not long ago, how many years ago when Jonathan was there, the reason that Tinubu gave why he's pulling out from supporting Jonathan is that Jonathan is not giving the Southwest a good representation in the government. That was all. And you can tell me for 8 years now, the Southeast has been treated as if they are not part of the country.
And it wasn't true. Not that he said
And
it, but
it
it
wasn't
wasn't
even true.
true. It wasn't true.
It
Because
wasn't even
we
true.
can put it on the table and analyze it here now. It
Apart from
wasn't true.
even that, even the Tinubu, he used this man to confess how they jeopardized this woman that Jonathan nominated for Speaker of House of Rep.
Mulikat Akonde is a
Akonde, how
Yoruba
they
led.
jeopardized that
Yes.
position and gave it to Tambuwa of
Tambuwa.
Sokoto.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm saying.
Just to paint Jonathan black.
Jonathan bad. If you can,
this is the way they shared it. Jonathan, President, Ijo, South, Namadi Sambo, Vice President, Kaduna State, Northwest, Anyim Pius Anyim, Ebonyi State, Southeast. What is this man from the from the South? No, yes, from the South is No. I mentioned
Jonathan balanced everything. He
everything.
balanced it very well.
Middle belt, David Mark, Benue State, Senate President. Then the party chairman, somebody Beshi Dalhatu or something from Bauchi State for PDP. Then the speaker, who we had the lady House of Reps, Mulika Tiakonde, I think from Osun State. Tinubu removed her. Tinubu, this is their own, and then go and give it to Tambua just to paint Jonathan black, so that tomorrow when they, the thing is that when people say certain things, you have to sit down first, analyze it, and then listen. Know whether they are talking with facts. So when they say Jonathan didn't marginalize Yorubas, he didn't give them poor, it's a lie.
The question is even that, let's now assume that what Tinubu said was true. So why can't we use the same thing for the Southeast? If you can cry just for only 3 years, you were complaining your region was marginalized. So what do you expect the people that have been marginalized for more than 8 years and still counting? And the way
we all, you know what is happening there? We know what is happening. We from the Southeast, we from the South, we from the South, we from the Middle Belt, we are the minority. That is what they are saying. We are the minority. They from the Southwest and the North, they are the majority. That's what they are telling us now.
It's going to stop.
That's what they are telling us.
This mandate must be reclaimed. Anyhow they look. See, the scientific evidences are out there. If we allow this mandate to go,
no, we are not.
Never.
How can you say we allow?
We can never get close to this kind of success again. They are going to block everywhere. They made so many mistakes, and the person that came forward was too smart for them. So this mandate must be retrieved because all the evidences are there. The election, it was clearly won by Peter Obi. So there is no other option. And we must fight this thing to a logical conclusion. I think that should be the focus. We should talk more about the mandate. And let's just leave about all these different zonal things. Let's just leave them by the wayside. But we must understand that these things, they exist.
That's true.
They exist. They exist. Let's not pretend that they don't exist. They exist, but we choose not to talk about them. Let's come together and reclaim these mandates. That is the focus now. That is the target now.
We must talk about it alongside. It is very important.
What I'm saying,
because if we don't talk about it along the side of asking for this mandate, we don't want status quo. I don't want Nigeria the way it is right now. I don't. Where one tribe feels superior or another tribe feels more superior. I'm a citizen, a valid citizen of Nigeria. Why can't I have access? Why can I not have the same access? So it must be had pari passu as we are pursuing our mandate, because it has to be clear that when Mr. Peter Obi gets there, he needs to look. This is what he needs to be looking at, because we're done. We're tired of being divided. There are people who don't have opportunities that ought to have, but they're giving to beggars on the street. Why? Because one tribe feels more superior than the other. Enough is enough. If anybody wants to be bigoted and comes out with their full chest, then they better be ready for these consequences. Because Nigerians are literally just being deleted every day because of tribal sentiments. It's tiring. It's overwhelming.
It's true.
All right. Let's allow Mr. Louis to speak to us as well. But I have somebody on the phone before Mr. Louis. And Deborah, we don't normally take calls this time because it's quite late, but I'll give you the opportunity to speak. It's 1 o'clock here, and I understand that you guys in America, early morning on a day for that side this time. So thank you very much for calling in, Madam Deborah. Good evening to you. Talk to us. We don't pick calls this time, it's quite late.
I know. But I'm watching, so I just sleep because of yeah, I'm sorry to have called a bit late.
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening to everyone. Just the conversation is an interesting one, and I just wanted to make a little input. I 100% support what Mr. CN was trying to say earlier on, because we all saw how they treated Goodluck Jonathan. You know, they frustrated every single thing in his administration. And I remember that period, how these people, a lot of these people from the West, you know, even Sowore came out, everything, they went against Goodluck. And all of a sudden, they all went mute when Buhari came, and things were even worse. Okay, imagine what is going on now. Sowore is not even saying anything. But if you go back and see what they did to Goodluck Jonathan, it's all obvious that everything they did to him was just unjustly done. They accused him unjustly, did everything to frustrate his administration. But the good thing in this whole thing is that truth will always find a way to expose people. You see, because they did this, they treated Jonathan unfairly. They got the worst. And when the wars came, they couldn't
They
say
couldn't talk.
anything.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them that criticized Jonathan, now they are doing the same thing. And the same thing is going on. And they kept quiet. So it's a good thing that we have to speak the truth. What these people are doing is not, they are just being tribalistic. Yes, they are. So instead of us to be confined about, regardless of where the person comes from, even if he's from the south, even if he's from the southeast, the person is capable of being a president, he should be given the opportunity. But it's obvious that the people from the southwest and the north, they just want power to be rotated between both of them. So when it's somebody else, they find a way to frustrate that person. And it's the same thing they are doing to Peter Obi now. If Peter Obi is from the southwest, they will not dare do what they are doing to him now. So it's obvious, and we really have to speak to say it out. Just like Omoye's corner is saying, we cannot just sweep it under the carpet. It's the truth. We have to say it the way it is. And until our people come to realize that we need to stand up and fight, if we want to remain as one Nigeria, then it has to be done on the basis of fairness. And that's only when we can exist together. Otherwise, if a particular set of people feel they are more superior and they want to intimidate and bully other people from other parts, it just cannot work like that, because obviously what is going on is bullying. Particular region just think they are more superior than others.
Okay.
And it can never work like that.
Thank you.
You know. Yeah, thank you so much for what you're doing.
God
I'm
bless
still
you.
listening. It's
All
an
right then.
interesting conversation that needs to be said.
Thank you.
So much, Nigeria Watch.
Thank you, madam. God bless you. Thank you. Hello. Good morning, sir. Thanks for calling in. Please talk to us. Hello.
Yeah, brother. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, Elvis. Good morning.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
morning. Thank you for all you have been doing. Me, I don't is I'm Tom, calling from Belgium. Not sleep. I always follow all your program. I pray God will continue to strengthen you.
Amen.
What is happening in that country, nobody think what they talk now. You can see what borrowing $500 million to rename airport. Is that the first thing that is supposed to do now? Is that the first thing when people are now suffering? They don't think of what to do to be able to cushion all the effects of the petrol subsidy which he removed. Is renaming airports. Is that the first thing to be done? My brother, I am really tired of that man. He went to France to go and disgrace Nigeria. My prayer to God is that this time, that disgrace is enough for this country. That man is not suitable for us. INEC select him, and I pray next week when INEC will stand their defense, God will put INEC to shame. With all the whole thing Mamadou have done, with all his people, and Okoye, God will put two of them especially to shame. in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
That is what I have to contribute, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you. God will continue to strengthen you for everything you do.
Thank you,
And
sir.
all our brothers and sisters, all the panelists, God will continue to strengthen all of us in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Thank you, my brother, and God bless you.
God bless you
Thank
too,
you.
sir. Thanks for calling in. Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Okay, all right. Let me come back. So callers, please. It's quite late. Don't call back again. I'm gonna turn off the phone. Okay, let me come back to Mr. Lewis. Thank you very much, Mr. Lewis, for joining us. Please talk to us, sir.
Oh, thank you, Elvis, and Niger Watch, and everybody, Chris, Black Panther, Mr. Midora, Miss Omoye, dear, CM, all of you, and even those people that are not on the panel tonight. I give you guys greetings wherever you are. But like I always say, I listen to, was it Tony or whatever his name is, that was talking about history. I wanted to ask him which history did he take in Nigeria, because he's talking about something that he probably did not read any book about history. If he remembers the history very, very well, I was not a child in 1960. We participated in what they called the Nigerian Independence Parade. When Queen Elizabeth came, we were in Lagos. So the problem is, like I keep saying, there's about 2 or 3 generations of Nigerians that doesn't know the history of Nigeria. They don't even know the history of the Fulanis. The Fulanis are not indigenous of Nigeria.
Of course.
They are not. They came from the Central African Republic and Senegal. And if he's a student of history, he should understand that the North was conquered by the Fulanis. How did they conquer them? They used the same religion to do that. They came in and told the Northerners that their religion is paganism. That's the Hausa man, is paganism. And they made sure that the Hausa man does not understand the Fulani language. The Fulani people understand the Hausas. So what did they do? They told them that their own brand of Islam and their own brand of traditional religion is fake. And then the same tactics that they are using now, that's why I'm not surprised about what they're doing. So what happened? What did they do? They went to Sokoto. They had emir in Sokoto. So they convinced the Hausas that their emir is very corrupt. And so what happened? The Hausas decided, oh, that's true, and all those things. And they helped them overthrow the emir of Sokoto. And they created their own sultan and created the caliphate. And the caliphate went through all the north, and they killed a lot of Hausas, a lot of them. But a very few of them left. So the only place they could not defeat was in Boronu, because the Shegu of Boronu fight really hard. Now, if you go down to Kwara, Ilorin, for example, Ilorin has Oba of Ilorin. They did the same thing in Ilorin. Now you go to Ilorin, they have an emir. Now, even the Yorubas, like I told you some time ago, I was born in Ibadan. I grew up in Ibadan's house, but that's where my dad was living. So I used to be, in fact, up to today, the Ibadan people call me Omoba. Omoba. Tunji was my Yoruba name. When the Bado people have their convention, if I'm there, that's what they say. So I remember vividly when they were talking about the Muslims in the Yoruba land, that their own Islam is not as pure as the Fulani Muslim. It was a big issue. Even presently, with even Tinubu, they don't trust Tinubu. Forget all this propaganda that they are carrying all over the whole place. They don't trust Tinubu. They are expecting Tinubu to die so that Shetima will take over. Now, remember during Jonathan, the 19 northern governors came to the United States and convinced Obama. I remember Nigerians, we campaigned and all those things. But they convinced Obama that the war against Boko Haram in the north, that what was happening was Jonathan was killing Muslims. And because of that, America did not give Jonathan the arms that Jonathan needed in order to fight Boko Haram. I'm very friendly with the commander of the Nigerian army that fought that war. And he told me, he said they defeated the Nigerian Boko Haram, that the ones we have now are from Niger, Mali, and Senegal. And who brought them? It was Buhari that brought them. Remember when Buhari said that if he doesn't win the election, that the blood of baboon will be dipped with the Bible in the River Niger. That statement was still on video. So when you look at what the North is doing, they are not the only Muslim country. Now, remember when they were campaigning, they used fake so-called Christian bishops to campaign. And no Christians rose up and said, you guys are blaspheming our faith. But when Deborah was killed, none of them said anything. Now there's a guy that is beheaded in Sokoto. Did they say anything? No. But when Buhari said he was going to deal the Bible into the blood of a baboon, nobody accused him of anything. You see? And when you hear some of this rhetoric that they're doing, that's why I always tell people, I said, I'm a student of history. I'm an accountant by profession, but I read a lot of history books, including the Americans. Sometimes people look at America today and they say, oh, what a great country. If you read their history, there was a lot of blood. A lot of blood. The same thing with Britain. So what is happening in Nigeria? Now, what is happening is when some of them
Mr. Lewis, sorry, Mr. Lewis, your words, like all the words that you've been using, it might affect this video and force it to be taken down. So you might want to change around your words, like use words like buy or delete or stuff like that. And just try not to be too vivid with your description because it will affect the video itself.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. You see, because the reason why I'm telling that is because Tony from the African DPT was trying to tell us history, and then that we have to be very, very careful about what is happening and all those type of things. But the thing we have to be very, very careful about is people coming to raise our blood pressure and all kinds of things. And what that does is it distracts you from what the primary focus is. And what is that primary focus? The primary focus is to regain whatever the mandate that we're looking at. And a lot of African nations are watching. The world is watching. Our judiciary is on the line. If you look at what happened in Plateau State with the tribunal there, the judges there already are forcing the chairman of INEC to come and testify. And the reason is because he sent in something that looks like a sworn affidavit and all those type of things. And the lawyers on the plaintiff said, no, we're not going to accept that. And I was watching that very carefully. So a lot of things are changing. And what we don't do is lose hope. Let's not lose hope. And let's not deviate. Tribalism has been there in Nigeria. If I tell you how tribalism started, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. Because I was in Nigeria, I was in the West when they had the Western crisis that most people don't even know. You see, but the thing there is tribalism is not the problem of Nigeria. I keep saying that. The thing there is, I don't want to call them our leaders because they are not. And I don't want them because sometimes we use this word political elite. I don't even call them political elite. I call them mafias. Because we used to have Kaduna Mafia in the olden days. So they are all mafias. What are they doing? They are using religion and tribalism to divide us. So who are they dividing? The citizens. So now, an Igbo man comes up and says, I don't like a Yoruba man. A Yoruba man comes up and don't say, well, I don't like an Igbo man. A Igbo man says, I don't like this person. No. You see? I remember when we were in college, we had a Nigerian Students' Union. And we rotated the presidency of that student union in the 70s. We don't care where you came from, provided you are in Nigeria. In those days, a Nigerian has an immigration problem. We don't ask whether that Nigerian is an Edo person or whatever. No. We contribute money, get an immigration attorney to head into that. So it's our so-called politicians who I always call them mafias. I don't even call them politicians. And what they are doing is they keep using this thing, tribalism. So how do they stoke it? Look at what happened in Lagos. Up till today, nobody has condemned that what is happening in Lagos. I called a friend of mine in Lagos. We all grew up in Ibadan. And I said, what is really happening in Lagos? Because I said, I read a lot of things on what they call it, social media. Some of them I believe, some of them I not. But tell me exactly what is happening. And he said, Louis, let me tell you exactly what is happening. He said, a lot of Nigerians didn't believe that part of Lagos has already been sold off. I said, to who? He said to the Chinese, not even the Lebanese, the Chinese. And he said, Louis, did you see the Chinese teaching their children Nigerian languages. He said they think it's only Igbo they are teaching them. No. And he said even the market that is being pulled down is to make way for the Chinese. And I told him, I said, I don't have any problem with Chinese investing. I said, but the problem I have is our so-called leaders go in with this private agreement. Like yesterday when what's his name? In Arise, Abati was talking about Tinubu. He met with people privately and all. I don't like private meetings because that's where they sign off the destiny of Nigerians. In America here, they wanted to sell Toyota in America. You know what America negotiated? They should come and build a plant in the United States. They did the same thing with Mercedes. They did the same thing with Mercedes. You see? So you get to Nigeria, our so-called leaders negotiate these things privately to their own purse, not to the purse of Nigerians. So look at what is happening in Nigeria. You go to every governor's, every state, every single governor is driving on a Toyota Land Cruiser. And those Toyota Land Cruiser are imported. Toyota Land Cruiser in the United States is about $110,000 by the time you come out of the showroom. So they import all these Land Cruisers. Now we have cars being manufactured in Nigeria. None of them is buying it. Now in America, American president cannot ride on any car except American car. But our leaders go out. Tinubu is in France. He's negotiating privately, which I don't think is negotiating with. So what am I saying? We need to focus on the main thing, which is getting this mandate, maybe analyzing what is happening in court. All these distractions that they are bringing around is for them to arouse us so that we can sit down here and start debating and doing all kinds of things, which is great. But we need to be talking strategy now. Because like I told my friend in Nigeria, I said, what happens if the court comes out and says, we cancel the election, we're going to have another election? I said, number one, are we obedient, prepared for that? Have we strategized for that? I said, the APC is strategizing for that. What do we do about INEC? Will INEC conduct this new election that might come up? I said, yes, we want them to give Obi the mandate because they know he won the election. But what happens if they don't? If they decide to cancel the election? Are we prepared for that? So that's what we need to start talking about. What will be the strategy? How do we attack this thing when they bring up and say we're going to rerun the election? Can we be able to mobilize? Because now APC knows we're watching. They also know that there are some obedience in APC. There are some in PDP and all over the whole place. But we need to strategize on what we're going to do when that election comes up. If it doesn't come up, that's fine. If they give Obi the mandate, then that's fine. That's our primary one. But the secondary is to plan for this election that may come up, because we don't want to be caught with our foot flat on the ground. Now, if anybody comes from here and start telling us, oh, tribalism and nepotism and all that, we know all that. We know all that are issues. But the main issue is the election we had on February 25. That was not an election. Everybody knows that. It's in court. We have a governor's issue coming up at Tinubu, which the Labour Party candidate might be declared the governor. Lagos is the same thing. What strategies do we have for that? There's an election coming up in November 11 with 3 states. How are we strategizing for that? Because what we need to do is get our own candidates ready. Because the more candidates we have that win the governor's position, they will have control of that state. We have people in the House of Assembly now. We need to start strategizing. What do we need to send to them? That this is what we expect them to do. Because if you look at our National Assembly now, they are dividing up money for positions. They are dividing up money in dollars. So we have to watch that very carefully and leave other issues until you get the power. Then you can do something. If you don't have the power, you can't really practically do anything. Right now, we have the power of the votes. We have the power of the votes, but we have to strategize on how we're going to handle that. So what I'm begging or appealing to everybody is, like I said before, we know that tribalism is an issue, nepotism is an issue, religion is an issue, but we need to focus on all these elections that are coming up. And like I said before, all the court decisions that will be coming down the pipe. Because August 3, they will now start the tribunal again. So we need to make sure that we keep putting pressure on the judiciary. Because I bet you, the judiciary, they watch Niger Watch. And if they see us arguing about tribalism and all those things, they are so happy because we're talking less about them. But if they know we're talking more about them every single day and all those things, then you find them sitting up. Because they are watching it. If they are not watching it, their children are watching it and telling them about it. So I thank everybody for their contribution. And again, I apologize for the words that I used. Because again, I was trying to quote what all these our so-called leaders say in the past, that sometimes they think people don't pay attention. So Niger Watch, thank you for giving us this platform. I know, like I said before, it's not easy to do it. And it's not easy to put your credibility on the line. People don't know how difficult it is. So thank you, and God will continuously bless every single one of you on this line. And very soon we get our mandate back. And then I know the new Nigeria is possible. And it's going to happen. Because we've never had this type of situation in Nigerian political life. So thank you all, and God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. I really appreciate your time, sir. Thanks for your wonderful submission. May God bless you. Thanks for your continuous encouragement, every one of you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. Please, my people, let's do, I don't know, let's do it round again so that we can round up.
Thank you all.
Moderator.com. Okay. All right. Okay.
My sister, fire! Madam Rita.
All right, make a leave una, make una. Moderator, you're just coming in now. Make we hear from you. Thank you
I'm
very
not going to
much.
talk much. Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
Black Panther, now what for you? I was just listening to
Ah,
what
show
um
them.
I was just
By
listening
the
to
way,
what Mr.
Black
Lewis
Panther,
was
you know the
saying.
sleep. You know the sleep. Eh?
Mr. Lewis, good evening, sir. Thank you very much for the educative um narration that you gave, because a lot of people don't.
Yeah, good evening, Madam Rita. How is the family doing?
We're all doing great, sir, and yours.
And we're doing fine.
Okay, great. So I'm very happy. See, we need people like you to continually educate a lot of us, because we don't want anybody to come here or make comments or make calls to deceive the people and distort history and change information. So that's why I want to say I really appreciate the things that you said, because at the end of the day, it's because of the love of the nation, and that's why you're here and you're taking the time to speak to us. However, whatever it is that is going on now, Nigeria, what previously, like I said, what I'm looking at right now is what happens peradventure that the Supreme Court says, because I'm just looking at the Supreme Court now, take it or leave it. Peter Derokobi and the obedience, actually won, and Peter Obi, my president, need to be sworn in, and then the man, the illegitimate apparition in Aso Rock, would say he's not going to leave because he's just spreading all his tentacles right now. All the change on the security chiefs, the change all of them, the SPVs that he's creating, the $500 million. There's a lot of SPVs going on. They're creating a lot of SPVs and they're saving this money again. It's another cycle. But the thing is, in the event of that happens, what will Peter Obi do? Are they prepared? Peter Obi and Ahmedati, are they prepared to have like a 1 million match to actually match to Asorok and tell this man to leave? And the judiciary is on the line, take it or leave it. In the event where Agbado is saying that he's not going to leave, with the Supreme Court's judgment saying that Peter Obi is the rightful owner, he's the rightful winner of that election. And then this man say he's not going to leave. And then the security chiefs he put down there, he's already paid them off with these SPVs in foreign currency that they shared, and then they obey him. So right now it's like the judiciary is on the line. Their reputation is on the line. Do we have a country? Is that a country? Because if the judiciary cannot are too scared or um to do their job, according to the law, then it means that what do we have? Do we have a country? Are we practicing democracy? What we're actually practicing, really and truly, I think is it's a kind of military junta, wearing the cloak of the agbada. That's how I see Nigeria. And then, over time, it's eating so deep into the system. It's like, I just feel that Nigerians just look helpless. Nigerians just look helpless because a lot of things going on, and we are just predicting, rightly when we say nobody's going to get arrested. Emefiele was just another Andrew Liver salt. That's what I call them. They just fizzle out and make some noise and everything settled down. It's ice water. Emefiele's issue. What's the other one? What's the Bawa's issue? Nobody's going to jail. The elites don't arrest their partners. They don't, or their houseboys. They don't. So Nigerians, we are tired of seeing these kinds of things happening. It's predictable. Like they say, nothing go happen now. So we are tired of seeing that. That's why I'm also appealing. We need cleaners. We need cleaners, and everyone needs to participate. If the event of that thing happens, Peter Obi should start getting ready. If he needs to march, or we have a parallel government, that's going to happen. Or if they're going to forcefully put him in the gulag, then it will be another Mandela, and then the whole world will like, okay, is Agbado bigger than Nigeria? Is it bigger than the constitution? You understand? So is it bigger than democracy? True democracy? Then perhaps we'll probably even see the non-state actors, who actually have been controlling this country since God knows when. Then they start coming out and their children start coming out, and then we'll start seeing the ugly snake heads. So we should get prepared. We should start thinking far, because Agbado and his clowns, they're also preparing far. Everything that we see today, I realize it today, every single thing that we see happening today, all the decisions they're making, all the appointments they're making is just different SPVs having different names, special purpose vehicles having different names, but there's a reason why these things are happening in preparation of the exit from the Supreme Court judgment. That's how I see it, and I don't think I am wrong. I may not be 100% correct, but I don't think I am wrong because it's so glaring. It's so glaring. Look at the appointments, from the security chief. Nobody from the middle belt. Everything is just the northern Yoruba. It's just one Igbo man. One. It's ridiculous. And they're changing all the immigration. Everything is changed. So it's like we are going to be like locked in. Let me put it that way. Nigerians are. It's like we are in a maze, and every exit is being blocked, and that is what he's building. He's building his fence round every exit right now. So at that point, what is going to happen? Peter Obi, I know he's probably prepared because I see that man that is very visionary and he's been among this elite. He understands their mentality and their ideology. I am believing that him and Ahmed Dati are already prepared for in the event of any of these things I mentioned. I believe, but the onus is really left on all of us. It's not just Peter Obi, it's just the title head, but the body is actually all of us. If some of us need to go back to Nigeria and support and do that match in the event and willing to sacrifice, we really need to. We really, really need to. It's a very scary thing when you really think about it. It's scary, but it is doable. It is really, really doable. We can take back our country because the rottenness is overwhelming that you can't even you like you wonder like, is this the country I grew up in? Is this the country I was born in? Like, is this how things have always been? Like, how do we get here? And then you now sit back and say, oh my goodness, all the good majority of all the good men and women in Nigeria, they have all left. Mr. Lewis, with all due respect to you, I mean, seeing that you're quite an advanced man, I can imagine if somebody like you, has played in Nigeria. Somebody's audio is on. Can you turn up? I'm hearing a repeat of myself. Someone needs to mute, please. Can somebody mute, please? Okay, thank you. I'm just saying, like I was saying, Mr. Lewis, with all due respect to you, for someone of your age right now, I don't imagine if Nigeria was what it ought to have been. I don't imagine seeing you settling or living in the United States or wherever it is that you are. You'll be in Nigeria, just like many talented and brilliant men like this that will have educated a lot of generations now. But everybody's gone. People like Mr. Louis, they've left Nigeria like decades ago. The system drove them out. So what is left? We're left with agberos. We're left with street urchins. We're left with people with fake senior advocate of nonsense. We're left with people like Bayo Analoga, Dele Alake. We're left with those same rats, rug rats. We're left with dingbats like them. Well, that's what Nigeria is left with. So the generation now, who is anybody who is 20 years old, 18 years old, even 30 years old, and they live in Nigeria, they've never left Nigeria. They don't know anything outside from what somebody's making a lot of noise. Nigeria Watch, I don't know if you're there. Somebody needs to mute
Black
themselves.
Panther, please,
Black
can you
Panther,
mute yourself?
please.
Thank you.
Stay mute now.
So it's like, if you look at, I've kind of lost my train of thought, but I'm just saying, somebody who's 20 or 30 years old, they've never seen any, and they've never left Nigeria. They don't know what true democracy is. They don't know anything past what they've seen, what they've grown up to see. They don't know anything. So how it's going to be so difficult to enter the mind of that person, to change the ideology of that person. A lot of us who left Nigeria and came here, we now understood what democracy is. Democracy is. We understood how a country should be run, how a government should run. A lot of us, and I want to praise a lot of people in diaspora or who had the opportunity to, go outside Nigeria, study, and understand, okay, this is how Nigeria can do better. Nigeria is richer than the countries that we all live in. And at least I could say that, maybe excluding America, but Nigeria is a very wealthy country. You can imagine, take of almost half of Europe. Everything that has been built there is from Africa. And I would say 80% is from Nigeria. The other ones can be from Congo or Central Republic because of the stuff that they have there. But if you really do, that is why we are spread across every single continent. There are Nigerians in Antarctica, even the coldest place in Canada. Nunavut, Yellowknife. I know Nigerians that are there. Do you know how cold those places? -60. The Nigerians that are there going to teach because the money is very high, and it's not easy to live there. They only see in daylight one month in a year. The Nigerians living there. Yellowknife, Nunavut in Canada. Google it. Look at the temperature throughout the year. Some of them see daylight once a month, or sorry, in a month, 1 month in an entire year. But people are there working. Some people sacrifice to go to those places because they have responsibility. They want to do better. That, you can imagine the kind of sick sacrifice people are making. You understand? And then you're coming out there to try to educate people, to inspire people, and then somebody will come and attack you, or somebody is coming here to give misleading information. Listen, Mr. Nigeria, at this point in my life, at this point in the way Nigeria is, I have no patience for anybody who is misleading or giving wrong information. We need to counteract it immediately, because we are just at the precipice of what is just going to break in Nigeria. Every crevices of Nigeria is rotting. Every crevices, even within the family
nothing
home.
is working.
Nothing is working. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing is working.
A lot of people in diaspora, look at them. Some of them have like diabetes, high blood pressure. Many of them don't sleep. Some of them, they work 14 hours. They sleep only 3 hours. Who survives that? A lot of them are dropping. In case you don't, a lot of them are falling. They just slump and they pass on. I've known like 2 nurses here who have passed on. They're not even up to 50. They're not even up to 50, and they have children. So you can see the ripple effect of the exodus from Nigeria. Nigerians living in diaspora. Because if you live in diaspora, a lot of us have responsibility. Take it or leave it. A lot of us have investments there, and you just don't want to leave it. A lot of us, and people depend on us to eat. If you don't send money a month, some people cannot eat. They can't forget about school. They cannot have 2 square meals a day if you don't send them money. How can you live like that? And you are eating 3 square meals, you're eating chicken here, and then people back, you can't, except if you're not a human being. So that's why you have to work extra, not even thinking that where you are, this is, everything's expensive now. So that is why we cannot deal with Nigeria with kids' gloves right now. We cannot afford to do that. So that's why we must keep up. Nigeria Watch, I don't know where you get the strength from, but I know it's the Holy Spirit that's giving you strength to come here. Sometimes you are just here like 18 hours. You are working. Are you not supposed to be in bed now if everything was okay? But you are awake since morning. That alone, the sacrifices is a lot. Even looking at the screen, I work with the computers. Looking at the screen like it has effects on your eyes, even if you wear glasses. So you can imagine somebody sitting down. Sitting down for too long is not even healthy. Sitting down and being on the computer screen. You think that is not having some effects? Nigeria Watch, anything that you are doing, I just want to pray that you will have good health. All the sacrifices that you are making now, including everybody here, but I just want to be specific to Mr. Elvis. Everything that you're doing, anybody who doesn't appreciate it is okay. But I know that the God that you serve will keep you healthy, will keep you safe. Because the sacrifices that you're making is not for yourself, it's for the love of nation. Because you have a choice to step aside and do your thing and not care. But you are doing this thing. A lot of us, we are supposed to be in bed. Some of us, our children are somewhere, and we just like, okay, we need to talk about Nigeria. It's sacrifices. It is. So that's what I'm saying. We have to take things really serious. It's not a joke. What is going on in Nigeria is not a joke. I don't think people really know the consequences of what is happening or what is about to happen. I don't think we know yet. But I just believe that God is on our side. I'm not a religious person, but saying that God is on our side, we should also pray that God will give us the wisdom, to make the right decisions concerning what is going to happen. Even Peter the Rock will be my president, and Ahmed Dati. I pray that God will not bring people that will betray him. I pray that God will give him the wisdom to handle things when they don't go according to the constitution or according to what the Supreme Court would say in our favor. I just pray God will just give us the strength and the wisdom. And even those people, you'll be so surprised that as at the time that the Supreme Court judgment will say, Peter Obi should be declared president, I'm sure that there's a lot of countries like the United States, I'm very, very sure, even if Agbado says he doesn't want to leave, I think these countries are going to go against him. Because if they support him, it will be against what they believe in. because we already know they're not really our friends per se. It's all about their own personal interest. But I don't blame them because it's country first. Nigeria is not country first. Our leaders not country first. So I can't blame the Americans or the Chinese who are doing business with Nigeria and it's their country first. So I'm not going to go there. But in terms of whatever will happen with the Supreme Court, I don't think the international body will support Agbado if he says he's not going to take himself away from that seat. I don't think so. But in as much as it is, we have to stay positive, but we also have to give the right information, awareness. You might not like what I'm saying, but I'm just giving you an education to open your mind, to start thinking and to start realizing what has been going on for decades and what is about to happen. But the thing is, what is Peter Obi prepared for? We need to know. We need, seriously, maybe they have to make a broadcast of some sort or something. We need to know because we really need to know. I am just looking at Supreme Court right now. My mind is not really on, the tribunal. It's the Supreme Court because that's what Agbado is preparing for. All these things we're saying, SPVs, it's just in preparation. Thank you.
Madam Rita, thank you very much for your short submission.
That's what you know now.
Sir?
Let me just say, give me about 1 minute.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Number one, I don't really, most of the time I'm in Nigeria. Most of the time I'm in Nigeria and I deal with youths because I was in education in the US before I Nigeria. But I came back because we had a hurricane in Florida and that affected my house. So I had to come back and make some repairs because my children still stays here. So I had to do that. But in Nigeria, you see, I'm not afraid to be in Nigeria. People talk about security and all those type of things. I'm not afraid of security or anything. And I don't even stay in Lagos. I stay in Lagos a day, and then I go to my hometown. That's where I stay in Anambra State. And the people I deal with are the youths. And the reason why I deal with the youths is because that's where I see opportunities. And a lot of the youths don't have the information. And that's why I said it's important to educate the youth. You see, I don't say much of what I do when I get into Nigeria. I just do my own thing with the group I'm dealing with. And once I'm in Nigeria, they know I'm in. They know I'm there. So once we educate our youth, I'm not talking about school, because the curriculum in our school, being education, the curriculum in our school is all watered down. Because who is making the curriculum is the federal government that is making that curriculum. And I don't know how many of you knew the Minister of Education that says he didn't know anything about education, and he was asked to come and be the commissioner for a Minister for Education. And I said, oh, no wonder our education went down the hill, because we took somebody who doesn't know anything about education to Minister for Education, to be Minister of Education. So what I'm doing is, when I'm in Nigeria, I deal with the students mostly in high school, not even the university students. It's mostly in high school. I go to all the high schools and then I get them in a group and I try to tell them why it's important that they participate in the Nigerian experiment. You see, and they always ask me, when is he going to get well? I said, well, you have to have hope. If you don't have hope, then you have nothing left. I said, I don't know when is he going to get well, but I know that Nigeria will be great again. You see, they seem to believe what I'm saying, but that's how we do it. It doesn't cost too much money to do that. The ones that don't have school fees, I end up paying their school fees and all those things. And then the ones that don't have a job, in fact, there are some that I sent into vocational training. Because one of the things we are trying to do is to get something for those young people so that they can get job immediately. And that's the irony of the whole thing. And I've been encouraging some of my colleagues to come back and help. There's one in the technology area that does workshop in Nigeria in terms of coding and programming. You see, he used to work with Amazon and then retire from there and start his own business. Yeah, he lives in Nigeria. So I told him, I said, I need you to be doing this workshop for the young people. You see, so all those things are things we need to be doing positively because you can't counteract a negative thing if you don't have a positive thing to counteract it. You see, what is happening in Nigeria is that a lot of the young people are looking at getting money in block. And a lot of them are in this thing they call a cult. So I try to get them out of there, not to be part of cult, all those things. So all those things, there are people doing that are now in Nigeria doing that. And some of them get frustrated, but I keep encouraging them. Don't get frustrated about anything. So those are the things that are out there. But the reason why I don't talk about it is because I don't like talking about things like that. You see, because it looks like the person is praising himself,
All
but
right.
that's
Thank
why
you,
I
sir.
don't talk about it. You see, I believe more in action. You see,
That's
I
wonderful.
believe more in action. So when I go in there, in fact, I'm going back this year again. As soon as I finish all the repairs in my house, hopefully it will be done. Because my roof was gone and they just
Thank you, sir.
recently replaced the roof.
Thank you.
So once that is done, I'll be in Nigeria again and I don't come back
Okay.
until probably 2024.
Yeah. To be honest, home is
So thank
home.
you all.
Thank you, sir. Home is home. That's why we all are fighting for better Nigeria so we can move back home. We prefer Nigeria. We're just only putting on a mask. You know, home is home. If we have a good government, a lot of us, in fact, 90% of Nigerians in diaspora will move back home. In terms of our youth, don't really have much to say about those people because most of our youth have been carried away already with Yahoo Yahoo. All of them want to make money overnight. You know, so don't really have much to say about it because their mindset will be very, very difficult to change at this kind of time. I don't know. It might be possible, but I don't know. Thank you very much. Okay, let's do a roundup so that we can round up. We can close right now. So everybody should do for 5 minutes and stick with your 5 minutes. Let me go with Mr. Chris. Are you still there with us?
Yeah,
Thank you
I'm
very
here.
much. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Okay,
Thank
let's
you.
hear from us for 5 minutes.
And that was now you are good. Thank you, Madam Rita. She has given a very beautiful speech, and I think
No,
I agree with
Mandarita give us short delivery. Now
her.
short when she wants that, she says she not go spend time. She want just quickly talk and
Naja
Yeah,
was good night. Oh, good night. I'm done.
but she spoke a lot of the things I wanted to actually speak about.
You don't
Because
drive
I
Rita.
wanted to just ask you that I don't know where you derive your strength from. I know when this is all over, I'm going to ask you. You give me a tip because
Uh,
I'm almost 100% sure that this section we are doing, you didn't plan for it. It just came up and you decided to give us 1 hour, and now it has been. I don't know. I don't know how you derive your strength. And yeah, having said that, thank you, sir, Mr. Louis Okonkwo. Thank you for the historical perspective that you gave us, and you tried to correct some of the wrong information out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Just like Madam Rita did also. Thank you very much, sir. Like you said, we are not a child in the 60s. I listened keenly to every statement that you made, and I saw a lot of wisdom exuding from you. Yeah, thank you so much for the perspective again. Well, I still believe that the hope is not even close to being lost. I'm very sure that we are going to get victory because the evidences are just too overwhelming. There's nothing they can do. They are planning for every possible option. Even within the camp, they know themselves that they didn't win the election. We should ask ourselves one simple question. How come the same people that are complaining that Peter Obi came third and he wants to become the president, and the person that came second is not saying anything? So how come they are not attacking that person that came second? How come everybody is leaving the person that came second and attacking the person that came third? Because they know that the person that came third actually won that election. And my only cry, the only regret I'm having now is that no matter no matter how they give us back the mandate, it is never going to reflect the actual margin that His Excellency Peter Obi used in defeating these satanic people. Because if the election, even with the vote and everything, even if they restore everything back, it is still not going to reflect what the vote would have been if they have allowed everybody to vote according to their conscience. If they have given everybody the opportunity to vote, imagine the mayhem and violence that occurred across the country. Imagine all those things we are allowed to translate to votes. Just imagine the disgrace that would have been given to these people. Because it is heartbreaking. It is really heartbreaking. This man has finished. Now you can imagine they are naming airports after Buhari based on what? Based on what? People that are supposed to be facing the wrath of the law, they are being given national honors. National structures are being named after them. It's very, very sad, sickening, and heartbreaking. So that is why, as for me, I'm going to do all I can in the little way I can to ensure that this mandate is taken back. Because I'm very, very sure that His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, is going to heal our wound. He's going to give everybody succor. Because the man is a detribalized Nigerian. He's not corrupt. He has it all. He has the acumen and sagacity to take this country to where we ought to be. Because if you look, even in the Europe, if you look everywhere, look at all the countries in the Europe, look at all the foreigners. Who are they? Who are they? Are they not Nigerians? They are Nigerians that are doing very well. Imagine Peter Obi is able to attract these people back home. Just think of what our nation would be in 5, 10 years' time. So the other main reason why we should pray for, why we should ensure that Peter Obi comes back is because, if not for anything, at least he will retire these bands of thieves, these satanic people. He will retire all of them from the political arena and he will give opportunity for fresh blood, new ideas, new thinking to come into the political scene. So I want to urge all of us to keep up with what we are doing. And I would like to round up by thanking you again, Mr. Nanjawash. It's only God that will bless you. Just like Madam Rita said, it's only God that will bless you for all you do. And Mr. Louis Okonko, I can't complete this without also thanking you for the depth of historical views that you give to us, for the balance of opinion.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think your input has laid everything to rest. What they usually call end of discussion. Thank you so much, sir. and good night to everybody. Black Panther, Dr. CM, Madam Rita, Omoyes Corner,
Okay, good night.
and the indefatigable Ninja Watch. Good evening,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Chris, thanks for your continuous kind words. I appreciate you, sir. Mr. Louis, thank you very much, sir, for the super chat. May God bless you for your continuous support. I'm very, very grateful for this. Very, very grateful. Thank you, sir. Okay, let's see. Okay, Black Panther. Black Panther, please talk to us. Your 5 minutes now. Black Panther don't sleep.
Okay, let me.
Are they here?
You know they sleep.
Me, I don't know, in Texas, I did. We just did, what's about time now? 8 o'clock. Sleep for we. Me and at 12 o'clock I sleep.
Wow. Okay, give us your 5 minutes.
I want to thank you for a great work done. And I want to thank our father here, Mr. Lewis. I want to thank him for the in-depth analysis of the historical, historical words and thing he has spoken here. And it is quite clear that we still need to go back to our history book and research on it so that we'll be firm on our ground and we'll know the direction we are going to approach this kind of system that we have that is hitting deep into the bone marrow and the fabric of the nation, our nation, Nigeria. And I want to thank Sister Omoye, and I want to thank Sister Rita for a good word that she spoke. She analyzed it, and she making us to plan ahead, which is a very good approach she has done. But I want to try to tell her that let's cross it, let's cross that mark, and declare our PO, the president. Then let them come, let them do their worst. We have already faced the worst before in Nigeria, and we are ready for them. Let them bring it all, but let them declare PO the president. Then we have crossed that bridge. Let them do their worst. Then they will know how the gentle lion who have been sleeping for long and how he's going to arouse and row and eat his prey. So let's get to that junction. Let the declaration be done first. Then we'll see whether he can stay like who will I say, Adolf, and said no, we can't. Let's see. Let them test the Nigerian people and let us test it for a while, and they will know how it is. So I want to also go further to say, let all of us develop that thick skin. You see, your skin need to be thick because we are yet to face the thing that is coming up. A lot of us, as Mr. Najawa said, some people have gone to the other side because they want to eat the crumbs from the master table. Let them continue. They become me. That is them. That is the character they are, and that is the personality that who they are. And there's nothing they can give, but what you've seen is what they can give. I just want to thank everyone for keeping the flag flying, and I will always stand by the side of the truth. And anybody that will come in here to try to give wrong information, just count me in. I'm ready for the person. Let them come. Come on, give the shot. I'm ready. Let them give the shot. I'm ready. Because this process of having a good Nigeria, I've been there and I've seen the little I've seen. There's no going back. On my side, there's no going back. I've developed my thick skin because the process made me to develop it. So I'm ready to go to the end with the process and see the new Nigeria. If they refuse it, then let us split it and let us go our different way. And the way the East and Western Germany did theirs, we can as well develop. After developing on our own, we'll say, okay, we want to become a united state of Africa. Then we'll not talk on the round table to come back. There's nothing bad in it. I see there's nothing bad in it. Countries have done it. So we can also do it. But let's see, let's cross the road. Let's get to the riverside first. And let's cross that river. And let's see who will dare the Nigerian people of their mandate. Thank you, Mr. Niger Watch, and God bless you.
Thank you, Black Panther. Thank you very much. I want to be Ferdinand. Thank you very much, sir, for the super chat. May God bless you. I really do appreciate this. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you. All right. Let me quickly hear from Amoye's Corner. Amoye's Corner, please give us your final 5 minutes, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you so
Elvish.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. I ready for you today. I say today. Now me and this panel, I must come on, even though I not really get waiting to talk because a lot of great points. And anyways, Mr. Lewis, sir, thank you so much for the history lessons. It's always an honor to hear from you anytime you come on the live shows. I really appreciate the knowledge that you bring with you. We look forward to hearing from you more often because we really do need to hear more of this history from someone who's had some type of experience, real life experience with it. So it was such a joy to listen to your take and everything that you had to say. So thank you so much, sir. And I want to thank everybody else that has contributed. I missed a chunk of
Yeah, thank you, Miss Omoy.
thank you very much, sir. I missed a chunk of Sister Rita's submission. I was multitasking, but I know it was fire as always. I just want to say, that the focus for every one of us is the mandate, the people's mandate, really. It's not even Peter Obi's mandate, it's the people's mandate. That is the main focus. However, I have already, in my own mind, I don't know, everybody has their opinion. If they refuse to give, because we have to think about everything that could possibly go wrong. They're floating a rerun on one side. They're floating, oh, what if it doesn't? We have to consider all of that. If they do not give back the people's mandate, everybody go their separate ways. Let's go and sort our issues out. Everybody has issues within their tribes. Let's go and figure it out because it's not worth it. We live in a state that's been captured. Let's just say it all the way. It's been captured by a few people who belong to cults, and they don't care. They are removed from how the common Nigerian, the citizens feel. They're very removed. They don't have any empathy, no feelings at all for them. So we don't have it. We don't. There's no need for us to be sugarcoating anything. We need to bring everything to bear because we have to start to heal somehow. We cannot keep being politically correct in everything we say. People's lives are at stake. Every day is one thing, or literally every day we're losing lives. And some people will come and say, "Hey, population, we have to have more people. We have to gain more people. We have to." But the people on ground right now, what's happening with them? Nobody's caring for them. People cannot even afford to go to their jobs anymore because a lot of people can't afford to buy petrol the way it is right now. 500, more than 500 naira a liter of petrol. It's crazy. I'm overwhelmed by everything that happens in Nigeria, but I can't stop talking. I can't keep quiet because I feel like if we keep quiet, that will be the end of us all. So we need to keep shouting from the top of our lungs and keep coming here, showing up. If you can't show up, that's fine. But whenever you can, we have to keep showing up in our own various platforms too, not just here. Everywhere you find yourself, you got to keep putting your voice out there and letting people know. It's sad that a lot of our people are still asleep. Those people that should stand up and speak, that have the opportunity to speak, now they're threatening to take social media and all of that. I know that's not going to work because a lot of people are already pushing back on it, but these people can damn the consequences. We need to also consider that too. If that happens, how do we get these messages across to our people back home? because these people are that crazy. They can still go ahead and do it. But you know what? If they don't give back the people's mandate, everybody go your way to your tent or Israel. To be honest, there's no need. Let the West go with the North, please. It's okay. Or the others, let everybody fall into their father's homes and answer their father's name. That's all I'm going to say before I leave. Thank you very much again, Mr. Elvis. You're a superhero. Superheroes don't always come in with capes, but you're one of those, especially in this time that we found ourselves. Really appreciate you. We pray for your continuous strength and your wisdom and the Teflon skin that you have, because sometimes God knows I feel like going through the my device and fighting some people, but that's just by the wayside. But thank you so much, Sister Rita.
Mm.
I love you as always. Black Panther, thank you very much. Dr. CN, the professor, the doctor, the champion. And not forgive you all the position when Peter the Rock will be get. So now let 2, 3 now I give you for inside. Mr. Lewis,
Thank
Oh
you.
my good night.
Mr. Chris, thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Thank you so much, my sister Amoyes Kona. God bless you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Amo. Yeah, good night.
Good night. Okay, Madam Rita, please, your 5 minutes. Final
It's
5 minutes.
not even going to be 5 minutes. So I just want to greet
Hey,
Mommy
God, oh,
Diaspora. I love Mommy Diaspora. She's just a wonderful person. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for the sacrifices that you're making, those who are in the comment section too. And I'm believing that Nigeria is going to be great again. But we need cleaners wherever you are, in whatever industry that you are. We need you. We need cleaners. We need to clean up Nigeria. Nigeria is too dirty. It's beyond a pigsty. Nigeria is too dirty. We need cleaners. Thank you very much and have a very good night.
thank you, Mother Rita. God bless you. Yes. Okay. Everybody don't talk. The last person now is Augustine.
Okay, thank you.
Augustine. Thank you,
Well,
sir.
thank you, Niger Watch. It's been a very good outing today. I learned quite a lot. There are some new things I picked up. That's not, that's it. I think, but sometimes when people phone in or maybe somebody says the situation in Nigeria is terrible, we all know it. It's only that it's not something that handing out money will solve. It requires a system transformation, and that's where you come in. Do you know that sometimes Niger Watch you have to take a deep breath? You said, "Hey, what if my choice of P2B has been a wrong one?" Although so far you would have said, "Hey, with what face will I be sort of, you know, seeing those that left me at the earlier stage?" So that's why sometimes it's good if you are not selfish. You looked at it very well, weighed your options, analyzed all the candidates in your own peculiar way, then pitch your tent with Obi, and definitely it's going to come up. Somebody said that by July, on the 3rd of July, INEC will open up their case. What they need to do is if they have evidence to debunk what P2B, all those evidence that Labour Party and P2B tendered before the court, so they will now know what they are going to say. It will be interesting. And whether they like it or not, I think the INEC chairman should be in court by then. Let people see him. It's terrible. Nigeria is at the age. People say that when you are at the tip or at the edge, a little nudge, you will tip over, and that nudge will come from the presidential this appeal panel. Let them just sit down, forget about even law or whatever. Look at the country where that pays your salary. Is that the time? Are you happy to be a judge in such a country? You look at it and say, look, the evidence is overwhelming. Since the history of a political election tribunal in Nigeria, no one has been as detailed, convincing, intimidating, and very, very intense like what Peter Obi did. He knew that this is how it's gonna end. That they will say go to court and they want to make a watertight evidence. Look at the type of expert witnesses he's calling. Look at the issue of 25% in Abuja and everything. It's a shame that we're allowing this thing to drag. Should have been a case of call off this thing, get this man out of the mess he's doing. like Al Capone's, I can never believe that a good outcome should come from a bad process. You can't collect a legitimate tax from an illegal business. It's not. So that is the situation we are now. But hopefully, with the way people are crying and then praying, I know that tonight so many Nigerians will pray, and when they pray, they say, "God, come and help us." So that prayer cannot be in vain. It hasn't been. We've seen signs that God has answered Nigeria's prayer because we had somebody who is willing, very clean, not cut from the cloth like the rest. He came out willing to do the job and very, very determined and to do it honestly with clean hands. He's not interested. For the first time, you see somebody going for the post of presidency in Nigeria that is not corrupt, nothing, no debt, nothing, not even one, and being a billionaire. So I do not see why not. Something happened for a reason. Niger Watch, you chose P2B for a reason. It will all come to pass and you will witness it. God brought P2B for a purpose. Nigerians
Thank you.
have seen it and they voted. So we keep the hope alive and keep the flag flying. We almost brazen the tape. I do not see how this case will go away. Not even a, what is it called? Not even a rerun. Rerun with who? Tinubu should be disqualified with all the forgery and everything. So it's not supposed to be a candidate. Atiku, no way, because they have to check every result. So I do not see why not. It's just
Thank you.
let them have the courage to pronounce it, and then heaven won't fall because the water is that is the man the world is waiting for. If the Sierra Leoneans could be using him as an example, what if he becomes president? Everybody will be waiting for what will P2B of Nigeria do. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you very much, Augustine. Thank you. What I would say is that I know there will be some argument or fight within the satanic INEC now, blaming him. Why did he even give Peter Obi that 25%? Because they will be regretting it seriously. Seriously.
or
That's where
or
God.
maybe they or why did they for why did Tinubu will say why did you forget Abuja? Shebi una
Why?
say you know him.
Now then,
Anyway,
I
well,
God
whatever
punish them.
it is,
Anyway,
whatever it is. Anyway,
we'll
well,
smile. We'll
May,
smile.
may, may they just chop all the money they want chop now because they go vomit
but
them.
it's a shame a country
That's
like
just the
Nigeria.
thing. It's already too late for
Ni-
them. It's
Nigeria is now borrowing money every month. Look, maybe we look for it. Buhari by April was asking of approve. By May, Kozekome said it 1 week to May 29 handover. They were, I think, May 20th now. May 20th, Kozekome made a statement. He said 1 week to go in. They are talking of 800 million. Now, Tinubu, 500 million. In dollar, man, this is just a handout. Something is endemically wrong, systemically, which only P2B, the way it stands now, the man will say, look, I know it will be like this, but I didn't know it is this it is this
Thank you.
deep. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you very much, my people. I appreciate every
Good
one of
night.
you. It's the end of the broadcast right now. Thank you, Rita. Thank you very much, Mr. Louis. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Mr. Chris, thank you. Blank Panther, thank you.
thank you.
Guys, thank you. Amoyes Corner, thank you. Um, Let me go to the comment section. Can see Tony Africa, thank you very much. Gift, I want for, thank you. Mother of all, Mommy Diaspora. Thank you very much, Mommy. I don't know how you do this as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate every one of you right there. Thank you, thank you. I want to be Ferdinand. Thanks for your support earlier on. And Mr. Louis Okonkwo, thank you very much for your support as well. I appreciate you all. Please endeavor to join us later on by 6 p.m. We're going to be coming back here again. Good night and sweet dreams, my people.